Hey guys, tonight we're rolling through the neon veins of a city that never quite sleeps. The kind of night where the dashboard glow feels like your only friend, and every streetlight hums a story. Picture this. It's 1 a.m., the air's got that crisp bite, and I'm idling in my rideshare sedan, sipping lukewarm coffee that tastes like regret. The app pings, and I'm off to pick up a passenger who's about to turn this shift into something I'll never forget. We're diving into a ride that's less about the miles and more about the weight of what's said or left unsaid. Unless you've navigated a 600-mile haul with nothing but bad coffee and worse radio, you probably wouldn't survive this kind of night. So, before you get too comfortable, take a second to like the show and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what we're building here. Drop a comment with where you're driving tonight and what's in your rig, truck, RV, or just your trusty hatchback. Now, let's turn up the volume, set our sights on the open road, and roll out together. The city's alive, but it's the kind of alive that feels restless, like it's waiting for something to happen. My tires hum against the asphalt, and the app's directing me to a pickup spot near a dive bar with a flickering neon sign that says, "Open till dawn." I've done this dance 1,000 times. Pull up, check the name, flash a smile, maybe crack a joke to break the ice. But tonight, there's a weird electricity in the air, like the road itself knows something I don't. The passenger's name pops up. Sarah, no last name, just a pin on the map. I ease into the lot, headlights sweeping over a couple of late-night stragglers smoking by the curb. Then I see her, a woman, maybe mid-30s, standing alone under a street lamp. She's got a hoodie pulled tight, hands stuffed in her pockets, and even from here, I can tell she's carrying something heavy. Not luggage, something in her eyes. I flash my hazards, roll down the window, and call out, "Sarah, your ride's here." She nods, barely looking up, and slides into the back seat without a word. The door shuts with a soft thud, and just like that, we're locked into this little world. Me, her, and the hum of the engine. I glance in the rear view, trying to gauge her vibe. Some riders are chatty, spilling their life story before we hit the first red light. Others? They're ghosts, barely there. Sarah's the ghost type, staring out the window like the city's a movie she's seen too many times. I tap the app to start the trip, and the destination pops up. A residential area about 20 miles out, suburbs, quiet. Nothing fancy, just a drop-off. But something tells me this ride's gonna be anything but routine. Let's talk mainstream for a sec. Rideshare driving's a hustle. With over 3.5 million drivers in the US alone, most of us grinding through nights like this for a paycheck that barely covers the gas. It's a gig where you're part cabbie, part therapist, part punching bag. But here's a quirky tidbit. Did you know some drivers swear by keeping a lucky item in their car? I've got a tiny rubber dinosaur on my dash, a gift from my niece. Some folks go for crystals or a St. Christopher medal, the patron saint of travelers. Me? I'm not superstitious, but I'll take all the good vibes I can get. And here's the debate-worthy point. Some drivers say the night shifts where the real stories are, the ones that stick with you. Others can't stand the quiet, the way it makes you feel like you're driving through a dream. Me, I'm torn. Tonight's already leaning toward the stories that stick side. The radio's off, and I'm not forcing small talk. Not yet. The city's a blur of taillights and billboards, and the air smells faintly of exhaust and something sweet, maybe jasmine from a nearby park. I adjust my grip on the wheel, the leather creaking under my palms. Sarah's still silent, her reflection ghostly in the window. I'm used to silence, but this one's different. It's heavy, like the air before a storm. I steal another glance in the rear view, and her eyes catch mine for a split second. There's a flicker there, something raw, like she's deciding whether to speak or let the miles swallow her thoughts. I've been driving long enough to know when to push and when to wait. Tonight, I wait. We hit a stretch of downtown where the street's narrow and the buildings lean in like they're listening. A group of college kids stumbles across the crosswalk, laughing too loud, and I brake gently, the car rocking. Sarah shifts in her seat, and I hear the faintest sigh. It's not much, but it's something, a crack in the wall. I keep my voice low, casual, like I'm talking to an old friend. "Rough night?" I ask, tossing it out like it's no big deal. She doesn't answer right away, and I'm ready to let it go. But then she speaks, her voice soft, almost lost in the hum of the engine. "Yeah," she says. "You could say that." And just like that, the night shifts gears. This isn't just a ride anymore. It's a story, one I'm not sure I'm ready for, but I'm in it now, all the way. The city's pulse fades as we weave through downtown, the neon signs giving way to dimmer streetlights that cast long shadows across the pavement. Sarah's in the back seat, her hoodie still pulled tight, her silence louder than the hum of my tires. That single, yeah, she let slip hangs in the air, like a door cracked open just enough to make you curious about what's inside. I'm not pushing, not yet. The road's teaching me patience tonight, and I'm listening. The app says we've got 18 miles to go, but it's not the distance that's got my attention. It's the weight of whatever she's carrying, the kind of weight that makes the air in the car feel thicker, like you're breathing someone else's story. We hit a red light, and the engine idles low, a soft growl that's almost comforting. Outside, the city's still restless. A delivery guy on a bike weaves through traffic, his backpack bouncing, and a couple argues under a bus stop shelter, their voices muffled but sharp. I glance in the rear view, and Sarah's staring out her window, her breath fogging the glass in little bursts. Her hands are still buried in her pockets, but her shoulders are hunched, like she's bracing for something. I've seen that look before, riders who climb in with more than just a destination. They've got baggage, the kind you can't stow in the trunk. Let's ground this in something real. The average rideshare driver logs about 30 hours a week, dodging traffic, drunks, and the occasional entitled passenger who thinks you're their personal chauffeur. It's a grind, but it's also a front-row seat to humanity. Raw, unfiltered, sometimes messy. Here's the quirky bit. Some drivers keep a mental tally of weird passenger moments. Mine's at 47, like the guy who insisted on singing opera at 3 a.m. or the lady who paid me in quarters. Sarah's not weird, though. She's something else, something heavier. And here's the debate point. Some drivers say you should never get personal with riders, keep it all business. Others, like me, think the real magic happens when you let the walls down, just a little. Tonight's testing that theory. I ease off the brake as the light turns green, and we roll forward, the car swaying gently over a patch of uneven asphalt. The dashboard clock blinks 1:12 a.m., and the city's starting to thin out, the skyscrapers giving way to low-rise storefronts and the occasional 24-hour laundromat, its fluorescent glow spilling onto the sidewalk. The air's got that urban mix of asphalt and fried food, drifting in through the cracked window. I adjust the AC, the vents hissing softly, and decide to try again, keeping my tone light, like I'm just shooting the breeze. So, you from around here, or just passing through? It's a safe question, one that usually gets a quick answer or a shrug. But Sarah surprises me. Not from here, she says, her voice low but clear, like she's testing the waters. Just needed to get away for a bit. There's a pause, and I can feel her weighing whether to say more. I don't fill the silence. Sometimes, that's the best way to keep someone talking. The road stretches out, a ribbon of black under my headlights, and I keep my eyes forward, giving her space. Then she adds, "You ever just need to run?" It's not a question you answer with a quick yep. It's the kind of question that makes you sit up straighter, makes you wonder what's behind it. I chuckle, soft, to keep things easy. Oh, I've run from plenty, bad traffic, worse tippers. She doesn't laugh, but I catch the faintest shift in her posture, like she's loosening up, just a fraction. But yeah, I add, dropping the joke, I get it. Sometimes the road's the only place that makes sense. I'm not sure why I say it, but it feels right, like I'm meeting her halfway. She doesn't respond, but the silence isn't as heavy now. It's like we're circling something, feeling out the edges of a conversation neither of us planned. We pass a billboard for some energy drink, its colors garish against the night sky, and I hear her shift again, the rustle of her hoodie against the seat. "You do this a lot?" she asks, and I'm caught off guard. Riders don't usually care about my side of things. Drive strangers around, I mean. Her voice has a curiosity now, like she's trying to figure me out. I grin, even though she can't see it. "More than I'd like to admit," I say. "Keeps the lights on, though, and you meet some characters." I'm about to toss in a story about the opera guy, but something stops me. This isn't the moment for funny, not yet. The road curves, and we're heading toward the edge of downtown, where the city starts to unravel into wider streets and quieter corners. The radio's still off, but the car's got its own soundtrack. The hum of the engine, the faint squeak of the suspension, the occasional tick of a pebble under the tires. Sarah's reflection in the window looks softer now, less guarded. I don't know what's coming, but I know this ride's already different. It's not just about getting her to the suburbs. It's about whatever she's holding on to, and whether she'll let it out before we get there. The city's skyline shrinks in the rear view as we slip into a quieter stretch, the kind of street where the sodium streetlights buzz and the storefronts are shuttered, their signs faded from years of sun. Sarah's question, "You do this a lot?" still lingers, and I'm chewing on it, wondering why it feels like more than small talk. Her voice had a weight to it, like she wasn't just asking about my job, but trying to anchor herself in the moment. I keep my hands steady on the wheel, the leather warm under my palms, and let the road guide us. The app says 16 miles to go, but the real distance is between us, her in the back seat, me up front, both of us navigating something unspoken. The air's cooler now, sneaking in through the cracked window, carrying a faint whiff of rain and motor oil. The dashboard glows soft green, and my little rubber dinosaur sways on its perch, a silent co-pilot. Sarah's still looking out her window, but her reflection shows her eyes darting, like she's chasing thoughts she can't quite catch. I'm not sure what's pulling her out of her shell, but I'm not about to let the moment slip. "Characters, huh?" she says, picking up where I left off, her voice a little stronger now. "Like who?" It's the first real opening she's given me, and I'm not wasting it. I grin, tilting my head just enough to catch her eye in the rear view. "Oh, you name it. Had a guy once who swore he saw Bigfoot on I-90. Spent the whole ride trying to convince me to join his podcast." She lets out a small huff, not quite a laugh, but close. "It's something. Bigfoot, huh?" she says, and I can hear the faintest smile in her voice. "You believe him?" I shrug, keeping it light. I believe he believed it. That's enough for me. The road hums under us, and I add, "What about you? Got any wild stories from your travels?" It's a gentle nudge, nothing pushy, but I'm hoping she'll bite. Here's a mainstream fact. Rideshare apps handle over 7 billion trips a year globally, connecting strangers for moments that can be forgettable or life-changing. You never know which kind you're getting until it's over. And the quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by passenger playlists, songs they play to gauge a rider's vibe. I've got one, but tonight it's silent. Sarah doesn't strike me as the pop hits type. Now, the debate point. Some drivers say you should always steer the conversation, keep it surface level to avoid awkwardness. Others think you let the passenger set the tone, even if it means wading into deep waters. I'm in the second camp, and tonight's proving why. She doesn't answer my question right away, and the silence stretches, filled only by the soft thrum of the engine and the occasional click of my blinker. We pass a 24-hour convenience store, its neon, open sign buzzing like a trapped firefly. Then, out of nowhere, she speaks. "I don't travel much," she says, her voice softer now, like she's talking to herself. "Not anymore. But tonight, I just had to get out." There's a crack in her words, a rawness that makes my chest tighten. I don't know her story, but I know that tone. It's the sound of someone running from something bigger than a bad day. I nod, keeping my eyes on the road. "Yeah, I get that," I say, low and steady. "Sometimes you just gotta move, let the miles sort it out." I'm not sure if I'm talking to her or myself, but it feels true. The streetlights flicker as we pass under them, and I catch a glimpse of her in the rear view. Her eyes are wet, but she's not crying, not yet. "You ever feel like you're stuck?" she asks, and it's not a casual question. It's a hook, pulling me in. I take a breath, the kind you take before you decide how much of yourself to give away. "Stuck? Oh yeah," I say, letting a little of my own truth slip. "This gig? It's freedom, but it's also a loop. Same roads, same apps, same late nights. But then you get a night like this, and it shakes things up." I pause, then add, "What's got you stuck, Sarah?" It's a risk, going straight for it, but the air in the car feels like it's ready for something real. She doesn't answer right away, and I'm not surprised. The road's patient, and so am I. We hit a gentle curve, the car leaning just enough to make the suspension creak. Outside, the city's giving way to wider streets, the kind with chain-link fences and the occasional stray cat darting across. The smell of rain's stronger now, and I can see clouds gathering in the distance, blotting out the stars. Sarah shifts in her seat, and I hear the rustle of her hoodie again. "It's not one thing," she says finally, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's everything. Lost someone. Lost myself, maybe." The words hit like a quiet thunderclap, and I feel the weight of them settle in the car, heavy and real. I don't say anything yet. Sometimes, silence is the best response. The road stretches out, a dark ribbon under my headlights, and I let her words breathe. This ride's not about me anymore. It's about her, and whatever she's carrying, and whether she'll let me carry a piece of it for the next 15 miles. The city's grip loosens as we glide into the suburbs, where the streets widen and the lights soften, trading neon for the warm glow of porch lamps. Sarah's last words, lost someone. Lost myself, maybe, hang in the air like a low fog, heavy but not suffocating. I keep my eyes on the road, the white lines pulsing under my headlights, but my mind's on her, on the way her voice cracked just enough to let the pain show. The app says 14 miles to go, and the clock's ticking past 1:20 a.m., but time feels irrelevant tonight. This ride's moving at its own pace, like a song you don't rush. The air's thicker now, the threat of rain closer, and I can smell it through the window. That earthy, electric scent that makes the world feel alive. The car's quiet, just the soft hum of the engine and the occasional tick of the wipers as I flick them on to clear a few stray drops. Sarah's still in the back seat, her reflection a faint outline in the glass. She's not looking at me, but I can feel her presence, like she's deciding whether to keep talking or let the silence win. I'm not pushing. The road's got a way of pulling stories out when the time's right. We pass a strip mall, dark except for a lone vape shop with a buzzing sign, and I notice the little things, the creak of my seat as I shift, the faint glow of my phone screen, the way Sarah's hands are still buried in her hoodie pockets. I want to say something, but I wait, letting the moment breathe. Then she speaks, her voice low, like she's testing the waters again. You ever lose someone? She asks, and it's not a question you dodge. Not tonight. I take a breath, the kind that steadies you. Yeah, I say, keeping it simple. My dad, few years back. Cancer. It changes the map, you know. I don't look at her, but I can feel her listening, the air in the car shifting. You don't just lose them. You lose the version of you that existed with them. I'm not sure why I'm spilling this, but it feels right, like I'm laying a brick for her to build on. She doesn't respond right away, and that's okay. The road's patient, and I'm learning to be, too. Here's a mainstream fact. Over 60% of rideshare trips happen at night, when the world's quieter and the stories get louder. It's why I prefer these shifts, the daylights for errands, the darks for truths. And the quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by road rituals to stay sharp, like tapping the dashboard 3 times at a certain mile marker. I don't do that, but I'll admit to talking to my rubber dinosaur when the nights get long. Now, the debate point. Some drivers say you should never share your own story. It's about the passenger, not you. Others think a little give and take builds trust. I'm betting on the second, hoping Sarah feels it. I lost my sister, she says suddenly, her voice cutting through the quiet like a knife. 6 months ago. Car accident. The words are stark, raw, and they hit me like a gust of wind. I keep my eyes forward, but my grip on the wheel tightens, the leather creaking. I'm sorry, I say, and I mean it, but I know it's not enough. Words never are. That's a lot to carry. I pause, then add, you don't have to talk about it, but I'm here if you want to. It's an invitation, not a demand, and I let it sit. The suburbs unfold around us, rows of tidy houses with manicured lawns, the kind of place that looks peaceful but hides its own secrets. A dog barks somewhere, sharp and distant, and the wipers flick again, smearing a light drizzle across the windshield. Sarah shifts, and I hear the rustle of her hoodie. I don't talk about it, she says quieter now. Not with anyone. But tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's the road. There's a tremor in her voice, like she surprised herself, and I nod, even though she can't see it. Maybe the road's good for that, I say, keeping my tone soft. It listens better than most people. I'm not sure where that came from, but it feels true, and I catch a flicker in her reflection, a nod, maybe, or just a shift. We pass a stop sign, and I ease through, the car rocking gently. What was she like? I ask, gentle, like I'm stepping onto thin ice. It's a risk, but the air in the car feels ready for it, like we're both leaning into something real. She was everything, Sarah says, and the words are heavy with love and loss. Funny, fearless, always dragging me into trouble. There's a ghost of a smile in her voice, but it's laced with pain. She'd have liked you. She loved people with stories. I don't know what to say to that. so I don't say anything. Just let her words settle. The road stretches out, a dark ribbon under the gathering clouds, and I feel the weight of her story settling, too. Not just in the car, but in me. The suburbs hum quietly around us, their orderly streets and glowing porch lights a stark contrast to the rawness filling the car. Sarah's words, she was everything, echo in my head, each syllable carrying a love so fierce it hurts to hear. The road's a steady companion, its black asphalt unrolling under my headlights. But the real journey's happening in the back seat, where Sarah's peeling back layers of grief she's kept locked away. The app says 12 miles to go, but the destination feels secondary now. This ride's about her sister, her loss, and the confession that's starting to spill out like a slow leak. The air's heavy with the scent of impending rain, and the wipers flick on again, their rhythmic thwack-thwack a counterpoint to the engine's low hum. My hands are steady on the wheel, but my heart's racing, caught up in the weight of what Sarah's sharing. Her voice, when it comes again, is quieter, like she's talking to the window, or maybe to her sister. It was my fault, she says, and the words hit like a punch, sharp and sudden. The accident. I was driving. My breath catches, but I don't react. Don't turn. Don't let her see the shock rippling through me. The road demands focus, and so does she. I let the silence stretch, giving her space to breathe, to decide if she wants to keep going. The dashboard clock glows 1:28 a.m., and the world outside feels distant. Just us, the car, and this moment. We pass a playground. It swings still in the faint breeze, and the sight feels oddly poignant, like a memory neither of us owns. You don't have to say more. I say finally, my voice low, steady. But if you want to, I'm listening. It's not a push, just a door left open, and I feel her weighing it, her reflection in the glass showing eyes that are wet but defiant. Here's a mainstream fact. Car accidents claim over 38,000 lives a year in the U.S., each one leaving a web of grief that ripples outward. It's a statistic, but in this car, it's a story, and it's Sarah's. The quirky tidbit? Some rideshare drivers keep a grief kit, tissues, water, a notepad for passengers who need to unload. I don't, but tonight I wish I did. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should never let a passenger's story get under your skin. It's a job, not a therapy session. Others believe these moments are why we drive, why we're here. I'm in the second camp, and Sarah's proving it. It was late, she says, her voice trembling but pushing forward. We were coming back from a concert. She was singing, laughing, being her. I was tired, distracted. Didn't see the truck until it was too late. The words tumble out, jagged and raw, and I can feel the guilt woven into them, heavy as a chain. She didn't make it. I did. That last part, I did, is a whisper, and it breaks something in the air, something in me. I want to say something, anything, but my throat's tight, and the road's the only thing keeping me grounded. The rain's starting to fall now, light but steady, speckling the windshield like tears. I adjust the wipers, the motor's soft whine filling the silence. Sarah, I say, careful, like I'm handling glass. I can't imagine what that's like. I pause, then add, but you're here, telling me this. That takes guts. It's not much, but it's honest, and I hope she hears it. She doesn't respond, just lets out a shaky breath, and I catch her wiping her eyes in the rear view. Quick, like she doesn't want me to see. We roll through a quiet intersection, the stoplight casting a red glow across the car's interior, and I notice the little things, the faint rattle of a loose coin in the center console, the way my dinosaur figurine tilts with the curve of the road. She'd hate me for this, Sarah says suddenly, her voice stronger now, laced with a bitter laugh. For blaming myself. She was always telling me to stop overthinking. There's love in that laugh, but it's tangled with pain, and I nod, even though she's not looking. Sounds like she knew you pretty well, I say, keeping it light but real. What did she call you when you got like that? It's a small question, a way to keep her talking, to keep her sister alive in the car for a little longer. Sarah shifts, and I hear the rustle of her hoodie. Worrywart, she says, and there's that ghost of a smile again. She'd say, Worrywart, chill, we've got this. I chuckle, soft, and it feels like a tiny victory, like we're building something fragile but real. The road stretches out, slick with rain now, and the suburbs keep their quiet vigil, their houses dark and sleeping. Sarah's confessions changed the air in the car, made it heavier but also clearer, like we've crossed some invisible line. I don't know what's coming next, but I know this ride's etching itself into me, into her, into the miles we're sharing. The rain keeps falling, and I keep driving, ready for whatever she needs to say. The rain's steady now, a soft patter against the windshield, turning the suburban streets into a glossy blur under my headlights. Sarah's confession, "It was my fault," sits heavy in the car, like a passenger we didn't plan for. Her sister's memory, vivid in that worrywart nickname, lingers too, a flicker of light in the dark. The app says 10 miles to go, and the clock's pushing 1:35 a.m., but the numbers feel irrelevant. This ride's not about the destination anymore. It's about the space we're carving out, where Sarah's grief and my quiet listening are the only things that matter. The air smells of wet asphalt and the faint pine of my air freshener, swinging gently from the rearview. The wipers sweep in a lazy rhythm, and the engine's hum is a low, steady pulse, grounding us. Sarah's quiet again, her reflection in the window showing a face that's softer now, like the act of speaking has loosened something. I'm not sure what to say, or if I should say anything at all. My hands grip the wheel, the leather slick with a faint sweat, and I let the road guide me. Its curves and dips a kind of meditation. Her words, raw and unfiltered, have stirred something in me, too. I'm thinking about my dad, about the hospital room that smelled of antiseptic and regret, about the things I never said. It's not the same as Sarah's loss, but it's close enough to make my chest ache. I glance at the dashboard, where my rubber dinosaur stares back, a silly reminder of my niece, of life still moving forward. I want to share something, to meet Sarah where she's at, but I'm careful. This is her story, not mine. Here's a mainstream fact. Grief affects over 50 million Americans annually, from accidents, illness, or sudden loss, reshaping lives in ways no one's prepared for. It's a universal passenger, riding along whether you invite it or not. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by memory tokens, small keepsakes from loved ones they keep in their cars. My dinosaur's not quite that, but it's close. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should keep passengers at arm's length. Never let their stories pull you in too deep. Others think that's impossible. Driving's a human job, and humans connect. I'm leaning hard into the second, and Sarah's why. You don't have to answer. I say, my voice low, like I'm stepping carefully. But what's the hardest part? Carrying it, I mean. It's a big question, maybe too big, but the air in the car feels ready for it. The rain's a soft curtain outside, and the suburbs are a quiet blur of mailboxes and manicured hedges. Sarah lets out a breath, long and shaky, and I catch her shifting in the rear view, her hands finally out of her pockets, resting on her lap. Feeling like I'm still here, she says, her voice raw but steady. Like I don't deserve to be. She was the bright one, the one who lit up rooms. I'm just me. The words cut deep, and I feel a pang, not just for her, but for every time I've felt like I wasn't enough. I want to argue, to tell her she's wrong, but I know that's not what she needs. She needs to be heard, not fixed. That's a heavy load. I say, keeping my tone soft but real. I bet she'd say you're more than just you. Sounds like she saw it. I pause, then add. My dad used to call me champ, even when I was screwing up. Made me feel like I could be better than I was. It's a small piece of myself, offered like a handshake, and I hope it lands right. Sarah doesn't respond right away, but I hear her shift again. The rustle of her hoodie, a quiet signal she's still with me. We pass a church, its steeple sharp against the rainy sky, and the wipers flick a fresh sheet of water off the windshield. I keep thinking about her laugh, Sarah says, almost to herself. It was so loud, so alive. I hear it sometimes, when I'm driving alone. Her voice cracks, and I can feel the tears she's holding back, the kind that don't need to fall to be real. I nod, my throat tight, and say, that's a gift, you know, carrying her laugh, even if it hurts. It's not much, but it's true, and I hope she feels it. The road curves, and the rain picks up, a steady drumbeat now. I adjust my grip, the wheel grounding me as my thoughts swirl. I'm thinking about my own losses, about the nights I've driven in circles just to outrun them. Sarah's story's different, but it's pulling up my own, making me wonder how we all carry our ghosts. You ever talk to her? I ask, gentle, like I'm testing the air. Like, when you're alone? It's personal, But the car feels like a safe space now, a confessional on wheels. Sometimes, she admits, her voice barely above the rain. Feels stupid, but I do. There's no shame in it, just honesty, and I smile, even though she can't see. Not stupid, I say. I talk to my dad sometimes. Usually when I'm mad at him for leaving. It's a half joke, but it's real, and I hear a faint huff from her. Not a laugh, but close. The road keeps unrolling, and so does her story, pulling us both deeper into the night. The rain's a steady drum now, painting the windshield with streaks that the wipers can't quite keep up with. We're deep in the suburbs, where the houses are spaced out, their windows dark, and the streetlights cast pools of light that shimmer on the wet asphalt. Sarah's admission, talking to her sister, feeling the weight of being the one left behind, has shifted the air in the car, made it feel like we're not just driving but traveling through something bigger, something that doesn't show up on the app's map. The clock says 1:42 a.m., and we've got 8 miles to go, but the destination's starting to feel like an afterthought. I spot a glowing sign up ahead, Marty's 24-hour diner, a beacon in the rainy night. My stomach grumbles, and I realize I haven't eaten since a gas station burrito at noon. Hey, Sarah, I say, keeping my voice easy. Mind if we make a quick stop? Coffee's calling, and I promise it's not a dive. She hesitates, then says, yeah, okay, her voice soft but not resistant. I pull into the lot, the gravel crunching under the tires, and park near the entrance, where the diner's neon glow spills out like a warm hug. The rain's louder now, a hiss against the roof, and I grab my jacket from the passenger seat. You coming in? I ask, glancing back. She nods, surprising me, and we step out into the drizzle. The diner smells of bacon grease and burnt coffee, the kind of place where the counter's sticky, but the pie's worth it. We slide into a booth by the window, the vinyl seats creaking, and a waitress with a name tag reading Doris drops off laminated menus. Sarah's still got her hoodie up, but her hands are on the table now, fingers tracing the edge of a napkin. The diner's quiet, just a trucker at the counter nursing a mug and a jukebox playing some old Springsteen tune low in the background. It's a pause, a breather, but I can feel Sarah's story still simmering, waiting to spill over. Here's a mainstream fact. Diners like this serve over 1.6 billion meals a year in the U.S., feeding everyone from truckers to insomniacs. They're the heartbeat of the road, open when the world's asleep. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by diner charms, leaving a penny heads up on the table for luck. I don't do that, but I'm tempted tonight. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should never stop mid-ride. Keep it professional, get to the destination. Others think a break can build trust, make the ride more human. I'm betting on the second, hoping this diner's the right call. You eat here a lot? Sarah asks, her voice cutting through the diner's hum. She's looking at me now, not the menu, and I grin. Only when I'm desperate or charmed. I say, nodding at Doris, who's refilling the trucker's mug. This place has the best pecan pie, though. Swear it's magic. She gives a small smile, the first real one I've seen, and it's like a crack of sunlight. Magic pie, huh? She says, and there's a hint of her sister's playfulness in it, the fearless one she described. I nod, leaning back. Yup. Fix anything, at least for a night. We order coffee for me, tea for her, and a slice of that pie to share. The jukebox switches to a Dolly Parton song, and I catch Sarah's foot tapping faintly under the table. She loved Dolly, she says, unprompted, her eyes on the steaming mug Doris sets down. My sister said Dolly was proof you could be soft and tough at the same time. I nod, stirring sugar into my coffee, the spoon clinking against the ceramic. Smart lady, I say. Sounds like she had good taste. Sarah's smile fades, but it's not gone, just tucked away, and I can feel her easing into the moment. The pie arrives, golden and fragrant, and we dig in, the sweetness cutting through the night's heaviness. I keep seeing her, Sarah says between bites, her voice low, like she's confessing to the pie. In dreams, in crowds. Like she's still here, but I know she's not. The words are heavy, but there's a relief in them, like she's been carrying them too long. I set my fork down, the diner's warmth wrapping around us. I get that, I say, thinking of my dad's laugh, the way it sneaks up on me at stoplights. Sometimes I think they stick around, just to make sure we're okay. She looks at me then, really looks, and there's something in her eyes, not just pain, but recognition, like we're sharing the same map for a moment. The rain's still falling outside, streaking the diner's windows, and the jukebox hums on. This stop wasn't planned, but it's right. A moment to let her story breathe before we hit the road again. Doris refills my coffee, and I nod my thanks, feeling the night shift gears, ready for whatever Sarah's got left to say. The diner's warmth clings to us as we step back into the rain, the neon sign buzzing farewell. Sarah's quieter now, but it's a different quiet, less guarded, like the pie and Dolly Parton loosened something in her. We slide into the car, the seats cool and damp, and I start the engine, the familiar hum kicking in like an old friend. The wipers flick on, battling the steady drizzle, and the app says 7 miles to go, the suburbs still unfolding in their sleepy, rain-slicked calm. The clock's at 2:05 a.m., and the night feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for Sarah to pick up where she left off. The air in the car smells of coffee and wet jackets, and my rubber dinosaur sways on the dash, catching the glow of a passing streetlight. Sarah's in the back seat, her hoodie still up, but her hands resting openly now, one clutching the to-go cup of tea from the diner. That moment in the booth, her talking about her sister's love for Dolly, the way she sees her in dreams, feels like a bridge we've crossed, but I know there's more coming. Her story's not done, and neither is this ride. I ease onto the road, the tires hissing against the wet pavement, and keep my voice low, casual. "You good back there?" I ask, glancing in the rear view. "Yeah," she says, her voice soft but steady. "Thanks for the stop." Felt normal. There's a weight to that word, like normal's a rare commodity for her now. I nod, my hands steady on the wheel. "Anytime," I say. "Marty's pie's a game changer." She huffs, almost a laugh, and it's a small win, a crack in the night's heaviness. The rain's a steady rhythm now, and the road stretches out, a dark ribbon under my headlights, pulling us forward. Here's a mainstream fact. Over 70% of rideshare trips involve some kind of conversation, from small talk to life stories, turning cars into rolling confessionals. It's why I drive, for moments like this. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by rainy night rules, like keeping the windows cracked for the sound of the rain, says it calms passengers. I don't go that far, but I get it. The rain's got a voice tonight. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should reset after a deep talk, steer back to neutral topics. Others think you lean in, let the story keep unfolding. I'm all in on the second, and Sarah's making it easy. The suburbs are quieter now, the houses darker, their lawns glistening under the rain. We pass a cul-de-sac where a lone basketball hoop stands, its net swaying in the breeze, and I'm struck by how ordinary it all looks, how it hides the extraordinary pain people carry. Sarah's voice cuts through the quiet, unprompted. "I stopped driving after," she says, her words deliberate, like she's laying them out carefully. "Couldn't get behind the wheel. Tonight's the first time I've been in a car that wasn't a taxi." My chest tightens. I hadn't realized how big this ride was for her, how much trust she's placing in me. "That's a big step," I say, keeping my tone even but warm. "Takes guts to get back out here." I pause, then add, "What made you do it tonight?" It's a gentle prod, but the air in the car feels ready for it, like we're both leaning into the truth. The wipers sweep, and the rain's a soft roar outside. Sarah takes a sip of her tea, the cup crinkling in her hands. "I had to go see her," she says, and the words are heavy final. "Her grave. It's out here. Couldn't wait anymore." The weight of that hits me, and I feel the road shift under us, like it's carrying us somewhere sacred. I don't say anything right away, just let her words settle, let the rain fill the silence. "That's brave," I say finally, my voice low. Facing that, I mean. Not many could. I'm thinking of my dad's grave, the one I still haven't visited, the one I drive past but never stop at. Sarah's strength is humbling, and I'm not sure she even sees it. We pass a gas station, its pumps glowing like lonely sentinels, and the wipers flick again, clearing the windshield. "She'd laugh at me," Sarah says, her voice softer now, tinged with that bittersweet smile, "for being so dramatic. She'd say, 'Worrywart, just go, it's just a place.'" I chuckle, soft, and it feels like we're keeping her sister alive in this car, just for a moment. "Sounds like she'd drag you out here herself," I say, and Sarah nods, her reflection showing eyes that are wet but steady. The road keeps unrolling, the rain a steady companion, and I feel the night deepening, pulling us closer to something raw and real. Sarah's heading to her sister's grave, and I'm just the driver, but I'm in this with her, all the way to the end of the line. The rain's a steady curtain now, blurring the suburban streets into a watercolor of lights and shadows. Sarah's revelation. She's heading to her sister's grave. Her first time in a car since the accident has turned this ride into something sacred, like I'm ferrying her through more than just miles. The app says 5 miles to go, and the clock's ticking toward 2:15 a.m., but time feels like it's stretching, bending around the weight of her story. The engine hums low, the wipers thwack rhythmically, and the air in the car smells of rain-soaked jackets and Sarah's tea, still clutched in her hands. My headlights cut through the drizzle, catching the glint of a wet stop sign ahead. Sarah's quiet again, but it's not the heavy silence from earlier. It's like she's gathering herself, piecing together what she needs to say. Her reflection in the window shows eyes that are tired but alive, like she's fighting to hold onto the memory of her sister's laugh. I'm not sure how to keep this going, but I know I can't let it stall. You said she'd call you dramatic. I say, my voice soft, like I'm nudging a conversation with an old friend. What else would she say about tonight? It's a gentle way to keep her sister in the car, to keep Sarah talking. She lets out a breath, almost a laugh, and shifts in her seat, the rustle of her hoodie a quiet signal she's still with me. She'd say I'm overthinking it, she says, her voice raw but warm. She'd probably tell me to blast some music and stop being so heavy. There's love in the way she says it, and pain, and I can almost see her sister, the fearless one, rolling her eyes with a grin. I smile, even though she can't see it. Sounds like she'd have us cranking Dolly right now. I say, and Sarah nods, her reflection softening. Here's a mainstream fact. Over 80% of Americans visit a loved one's grave at least once after a loss, seeking closure or connection, often in the quiet of night. It's a pilgrimage, and Sarah's on hers. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers keep a night-run log, jotting down moments like this, not for pay, but for memory. I don't, but tonight I'm tempted. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should never get this deep with a passenger, that it's too much liability, emotionally or otherwise. Others say it's the whole point of the job, the human part. I'm all in on the second, and Sarah's why. She was only 28, Sarah says suddenly, her voice cutting through the rain's hum. Had this big plan to travel the world, start a bakery, live loud. Then gone. The words are stark, and I feel them land, heavy and real. I keep thinking about all the things she'll never do, she adds, quieter now. And I'm here, doing this. Nothing. The self-blame is back, sharp as a blade, and I want to argue, but I know it's not my place. Not yet. Sounds like she lived big in those 28 years. I say, keeping my tone steady. And you're carrying that for her. That's not nothing. I pause, then add. My dad was 62 when he passed. Always talked about retiring to fish. Never got there. I carry that, too. It's a small offering, a way to meet her in the grief, and I hope it lands right. The road curves, and the rain picks up, a steady roar against the roof. Sarah's quiet, but I catch her nodding in the rear view, a small gesture that feels like a bridge. We pass a cemetery gate, its iron bars gleaming wetly in the headlights, and I wonder if it's the one she's heading to, but I don't ask. The air in the car feels fragile, like we're balancing something precious. She'd hate this rain, Sarah says, her voice softer now, almost fond. Always said it ruined her hair. I chuckle, the sound low and warm. My dad hated rain too, I say. Called it God's bad plumbing. Made me laugh every time. Sarah huffs, and it's close to a laugh, a tiny spark in the dark. The wipers sweep, and the dashboard glows, my rubber dinosaur tilting with the road's curve. I keep her necklace, Sarah says, unprompted, her hand brushing her collarbone. Haven't worn it yet. Don't know if I can. Her voice is raw, and I can feel the weight of that necklace, even from here. Maybe tonight. I say, gentle, like I'm suggesting, not pushing. Or maybe when you're ready. She'd get it, right? Sarah doesn't answer, but I hear her shift, the rustle of her hoodie, and I know she's thinking about it. The road keeps unrolling, the rain a steady companion, and I feel the night tightening, pulling us closer to her destination, to the moment she's been running toward or from. Sarah's story's unfolding, and I'm just the driver, but I'm in it, holding space for her sister, for her grief, for the miles we've got left. The rain's a relentless companion now, drumming on the roof like a heartbeat, turning the suburban streets into a slick, reflective maze. Sarah's words about her sister's necklace, about carrying her unlived dreams, have woven a thread between us, fragile but strong. The app says 3 miles to go, and the clock's at 2:25 a.m., but the numbers feel like background noise. This ride's about the space we're sharing, where her grief and my quiet listening are building something real. The wipers sweep, the engine hums, and the air smells of wet pavement and the faint citrus of Sarah's tea cooling in her hands. My headlights catch a row of mailboxes, their metal glinting in the rain, and I notice the little things, the creak of my seat, the faint glow of the dashboard, the way my rubber dinosaur sways like it's nodding along. Sarah's in the back seat, her hoodie still up, but her posture's different now, less curled in, like she's letting the car hold her up. Her confession about the accident, the grave, the necklace, it's all out there, raw and heavy, and I'm feeling the weight of it, too. I'm thinking about my dad, about the fishing trips we never took, about the way loss leaves you carrying pieces you don't know how to set down. You ever feel like you're not enough? Sarah asks, her voice cutting through the rain's rhythm, sudden but soft. It's a question that lands like a stone, and I take a breath, the kind you take before you bear something real. All the time. I say, my voice low, honest. This job? It's freedom, but it's also a mirror. You see yourself, the good, the bad, the stuff you're avoiding. I pause, then add, after my dad died, I kept thinking I should have been more. I don't know, present. Better. It's more than I planned to share, but it feels right, like I'm meeting her halfway. Here's a mainstream fact. Over 40% of Americans report feeling inadequate after a loss, like they're failing the memory of the person they loved. It's a universal ache, and Sarah's carrying it. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers keep a shift journal, scribbling down moments like this to process them later. I don't, but tonight I get why they do. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should never share your own struggles. It's the passenger's ride, not yours. Others think vulnerability builds trust, makes the moment real. I'm betting on the second, and Sarah's proving it. She shifts, the rustle of her hoodie a quiet signal she's listening. She always said I was enough, she says, her voice trembling but clear, even when I didn't believe it. Now, I don't know how to feel it without her. The words are raw, and I feel them settle, heavy and true. I want to say something profound, but all I've got is honesty. That's a lot to figure out, I say, keeping my tone warm. But you're out here, facing it. That's more than most. I glance in the rear view, and her eyes meet mine for a second, wet but steady, like she's holding onto my words. The road curves, and the rain's a steady roar, blurring the world outside. We pass a park, its benches empty and gleaming, and I'm struck by how quiet the suburbs are, how they hide so much beneath their calm. I talk to him sometimes. I say, unprompted, my voice soft. My dad, usually when I'm pissed or lost. Helps, even if it's just me talking. It's a small offering, a way to keep the connection alive, and Sarah nods, her reflection showing a flicker of understanding. I talk to her too, she says. Mostly apologies. For the accident. For everything. That's love, I say, simple but real. Apologizing even when they're gone means you still carry her. I'm thinking of my own apologies, the ones I whisper at stoplights, and I feel a kinship with Sarah, like we're both navigating the same map. The wipers flick, and the dashboard glows, my dinosaur tilting with the road. You think they hear us? She asks, her voice barely above the rain. And it's a question that stops me cold. I take a breath, the wheel steady under my hands. I like to think so, I say. Or maybe it's just us hearing ourselves. Either way, it keeps them close. Sarah doesn't respond, but I hear her shift, the crinkle of her teacup as she sets it down. The road's narrowing now, the houses fewer, the world closing in as we near her destination. This ride's been a confessional, a shared space for grief and memory, and I'm not just the driver anymore. I'm a witness, a co-pilot in her story. The rain keeps falling, and the night keeps pulling us forward, toward the moment she's been bracing for. The rain's a steady pulse now, washing the world into a blur of wet asphalt and scattered lights. We're close. The app says 1 mile to go, and the clock's edging toward 2:35 a.m. Sarah's destination, her sister's grave, looms like a quiet thundercloud, and the air in the car feels charged, like we're on the cusp of something sacred. Her words, about apologizing to her sister, about wondering if she hears, have left a mark, and I'm carrying them as carefully as I'm steering this car. The wipers sweep, the engine hums low, and the smell of rain mixes with the faint warmth of Sarah's tea, cooling in the back seat. The suburbs have given way to a quieter stretch, where the houses are sparse and the roads flanked by dark fields and the occasional oak, their branches heavy with rain. Sarah's still, her hoodie a soft outline in the rear view, but her hands are restless, fidgeting with the drawstrings. I can feel her bracing, like she's steeling herself for what's coming. The weight of this ride, of her confession, of her grief, is heavy, but it's not crushing. It's real, and I'm honored to be here, even if I'm just the guy behind the wheel. My rubber dinosaur sways on the dash, a silly anchor in the storm, and I keep my eyes on the road, letting the silence do its work. You been out here before? I ask, my voice low, like I'm stepping carefully. It's a way to keep her grounded, to ease her into the moment. She takes a breath, the sound sharp in the quiet. Once, she says, her voice soft but steady. Right after. Couldn't stay long. Felt wrong. There's a crack in her words, and I nod, even though she's not looking. Makes sense, I say. Sometimes it takes a few tries to face it. Like the road's gotta lead you there. I'm thinking of my dad's grave, the one I still haven't faced, and I feel a pang of kinship. Here's a mainstream fact. Over 60% of people visit grave sites within the first year of a loss, but many, like Sarah, struggle with the weight of returning. It's a journey, not a destination. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by route rituals for tough rides, like touching a Lucky Charm before a drop-off. My dinosaur's as close as I get, but tonight it's enough. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should keep the mood light as a ride ends, ease the passenger out. Others think you stay with the tone they've set, even if it's heavy. I'm in the second camp, and Sarah's story demands it. The road narrows, and I spot a sign ahead, Willow Creek Cemetery. Its letters weathered but clear. My chest tightens, knowing we're almost there. Sarah shifts, her hands stilling, and I hear the faint clink of something metal. The necklace, maybe, her sister's keepsake. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, she says, her voice barely above the rain. When I get there, say something. Just stand there. It's a raw question, and I feel the weight of it, the way it's been eating at her. You don't have to do anything, I say, keeping my tone warm but steady. Just be there. Let it be what it is. She'd get that, right? I'm thinking of her sister, the one who called her worrywart, and I hope I'm right. Sarah doesn't answer, but I hear her take a shaky breath, and I catch her reflection, eyes wet, but her jaws set, like she's ready, or as ready as she'll ever be. The rain's a soft roar now, and the wipers flick, clearing the windshield just enough to keep going. We pass a lone street light, its glow hazy in the drizzle, and the cemetery's gate comes into view, iron and solemn, flanked by stone pillars. I slow the car, the tires hissing on the wet pavement, and glance back. This it? I ask, gentle, giving her control. She nods, her hands clutching the hoodie's drawstrings. Yeah, she says, her voice small but firm. This is it. The words feel final, like a door opening, and I ease into the lot, parking near the gate, where the rain pools and shallow dips. I cut the engine, and the silence is sudden, filled only by the rain's patter and Sarah's breathing. You want me to wait? I ask, turning slightly to face her. It's not just logistics. It's an offer to stay connected, to be here when she's done. She hesitates, then says, please. If that's okay. I nod, my throat tight. I'm not going anywhere. I say, and I mean it. The dashboard glows, my dinosaur still, and the night feels like it's holding us. This moment, this ride, in its quiet hands. The rain's a soft shroud, cloaking the cemetery lot where we're parked, the iron gate of Willow Creek looming just beyond the windshield. With the engine off, the car's quiet, save for the steady patter of droplets and the faint creak of my seat as I shift. Sarah's in the back seat, her hoodie a dark silhouette, her hands still gripping the drawstrings like they're a lifeline. The app's gone silent, the ride technically over, but this moment's far from done. The clock says 2:40 a.m., and the air smells of wet earth and the lingering warmth of Sarah's tea, now cold in its cup. We're at the edge of her pilgrimage, and I can feel the weight of it, heavy and sacred. Sarah's staring at the gate, her reflection in the window showing eyes that are wide, searching, like she's looking for courage in the rain. The cemetery's dark, its headstones faint shapes in the drizzle, and I'm struck by how still it is, how the world's holding its breath for her. I don't say anything. Words feel too small right now, but I keep my presence steady, a quiet anchor in the car. My rubber dinosaur sits on the dash, its goofy grin a strange comfort, and I notice the little things. The fog on the windows, the faint hum of a distant car, the way Sarah's breathing's uneven, like she's bracing for a leap. Here's a mainstream fact. Cemeteries cover over 1 million acres in the U.S. Quiet spaces where people like Sarah come to grieve, reflect, or just be. They're as much a part of the road as diners or gas stations. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by silent stops, moments where they pause a ride to let a passenger process, no meter running. I'm doing that now, app be damned. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should wrap up a ride cleanly, drop off, and move on. Others think you stay, hold space, even if it's just sitting in silence. I'm all in on the second, and Sarah's why. We hit a stoplight on the way here, just before the cemetery turn, and I remember it now. The red glow bathing the car, the rain streaking the windshield, Sarah's silence louder than the storm. It was a moment like this, a pause where everything felt possible and fragile. I glance at her in the rear view, and she's still staring at the gate, but her hands are moving now, reaching into her hoodie pocket. I hear a faint clink, the necklace, her sister's keepsake, and my chest tightens. I'm scared, she says, her voice so soft it's almost lost in the rain. What if I can't do this? You're already doing it. I say, my voice low, steady. You're here. That's more than most could manage. I pause, then add, you don't have to go in. Just being here's enough, you know? It's not advice, just truth, and I hope it lands right. She nods, barely, and pulls the necklace out. A small silver pendant, glinting in the dashboard's glow. She wore this every day, she says, her voice trembling. Gave it to me after. The words are heavy, and I can feel the love, the guilt, the everything in them. The rain keeps falling, a steady rhythm that feels like it's holding us together. I'm thinking of my dad, of the watch he left me, still in its box because I'm not ready to wear it. I've got something like that. I say, unprompted, my voice soft. My dad's watch. Can't bring myself to put it on yet. Feels final. It's a small piece of me, offered to keep her company, and Sarah looks at me in the rear view, her eyes meeting mine for the first time in a while. Yeah, she says, her voice raw. Final. The stoplight memory comes back, that red glow, and I realize this moment's like that. A pause before the next step, a chance to breathe. You think she's watching? Sarah asks, her fingers tracing the pendant. It's a question that cuts deep, and I take a breath, the wheel cool under my hands even though I'm not driving. I think she's with you. I say, honest. Maybe not watching, but there? In the necklace, in her laugh, in you. It's not a big speech, but it's real, and I see her nod, her shoulders easing just a fraction. The cemetery gate waits, dark and patient, and Sarah's holding the necklace like it's her sister's hand. This moment's hers, and I'm just here, a witness to her courage, ready to wait as long as she needs. The rain's a quiet song, and the night's a gentle cradle, holding us both in its arms. The rain's softened to a drizzle, a gentle tap against the car's roof, as we sit parked outside Willow Creek Cemetery. The iron gate stands sentinel, its bars glistening faintly in the glow of my headlights. Sarah's in the back seat, the silver pendant of her sister's necklace cradled in her hands, its chain catching the dashboard's dim light. Her admission, I'm scared, and my quiet response hang between us, a fragile thread tying this moment together. The clock says 2:50 a.m., and the app's long since gone quiet, but this ride's not about the meter anymore. It's about Sarah, her sister, and the steps she's teetering on. The air's thick with the scent of wet earth and the faint staleness of my jacket, still damp from the diner. My rubber dinosaur stares blankly from the dash, a silent witness to the weight of this night. Sarah's breathing is slow, deliberate, like she's counting each one to steady herself. I can feel her gathering courage, the kind that doesn't roar but whispers, and I keep my presence steady, a co-pilot in her story. The cemetery's dark beyond the gate, its headstones like quiet ghosts in the mist, and I'm struck by how sacred this feels, like we're parked at the edge of something holy. You don't have to go in, I say again, my voice low, warm, like I'm talking to a friend. But if you do, you're not alone. She's with you. I nod toward the necklace, hoping it anchors her. Sarah's eyes flicker to the pendant, and she traces its edge with her thumb. I want to, she says, her voice small but resolute. I need to. The words are a vow, and I feel their weight, the way they shift the air in the car. I nod, my throat tight. Then you will, I say, simple but sure. And I'll be right here. Here's a mainstream fact. Over 70% of people who visit grave sites report feeling a sense of connection, even if it's just to their own memories. It's why Sarah's here, chasing that thread. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by passenger promises, mental notes to check in on riders who leave a mark. I'm already making one for Sarah. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should keep a rides in brisk, professional, no lingering. Others think you stay, hold the moment, even if it's just sitting in the rain. I'm in the second camp, and this night's proof. Sarah takes a deep breath, the sound sharp in the quiet, and slips the necklace over her head, the pendant settling against her chest. Okay, she says, more to herself than me. She opens the door, and the rain's soft hiss fills the car, cool air rushing in. I'll be quick, she says, glancing at me, her eyes wet but steady. Take your time, I say, my voice warm. I'm not going anywhere. She nods, steps out, and closes the door with a soft thud, her hoodie fading into the drizzle as she moves toward the gate. I watch her go, a lone figure under the cemetery's dark canopy, and my chest aches, for her sister, for the bravery it takes to face a grave. The rain streaks the windshield, and I lean back, the seat creaking. I'm thinking of my dad, of the watch I still haven't worn, of the apologies I've whispered on long drives. Sarah's courage is stirring something in me, a quiet resolve to face my own ghosts someday. The dashboard glows, my dinosaur still, and I notice the fog on the windows, the world outside blurred but sharp in its meaning. Sarah's gone maybe 10 minutes, but it feels like forever and no time at all. When she returns, her hoodie's soaked, her face pale but calm, like she's left something behind and carried something new. She slides into the back seat, the door shutting with a quiet click, and I turn to face her. You okay? I ask, gentle. She nods, her hand touching the necklace. Yeah, she says, her voice raw but lighter. I told her I'm sorry, and I think she heard me. That's everything. I say, my voice thick with something I can't name. You did good, Sarah. She doesn't smile, but her eyes meet mine, and there's a flicker of peace there, a small victory. Thanks, she says, and it's not just for the ride. For listening. For this. I nod, my throat tight. Anytime, I say, and I mean it. The rain's a quiet song now, and the night feels softer, like it's cradling us both after the storm. The rain's eased to a faint mist, barely kissing the windshield as I start the engine, the soft hum filling the car like a sigh of relief. Sarah's back in the back seat, her hoodie damp, the silver necklace glinting faintly against her chest. Her visit to her sister's grave, those quiet minutes in the cemetery, have left the air in the car lighter, like she's set down a piece of her grief, even if just for tonight. The clock says 3:05 a.m., and the app's still silent. No new rides, no pings, just us and the road. I pull out of the cemetery lot, the tires hissing on the wet pavement, and head back toward the suburbs. No destination set, just driving to give her space. The night's deep now, the stars peeking through thinning clouds, and the air smells of clean rain and the faint warmth of Sarah's hoodie, steaming as the heater kicks in. My rubber dinosaur sways on the dash, catching the glow of a passing streetlight, and I notice the little things, the fog clearing on the windows, the soft creak of my seat, the way Sarah's hands rest open in her lap, no longer clutching the drawstrings. She's quiet, but it's a peaceful quiet, like the calm after a storm. I'm not sure what to say, or if I need to say anything, but I keep my presence steady, a co-pilot in this moment. You want me to take you home? I ask, my voice low, giving her control. She hesitates, then says, not yet. Can we just drive a bit? Her voice is soft, but there's a strength in it, like she's claiming this night for herself. I nod, glancing in the rear view. You got it, I say, and I mean it. Any requests? Music? Scenic route. She huffs, almost a laugh, and shakes her head. Just the road, she says, and I get it. Sometimes the road's enough. Here's a mainstream fact. Over 50% of rideshare drivers report taking open-ended rides, where the passenger just needs time, not a destination. It's rare, but it's real, and tonight's one of those. The quirky tidbit? Some drivers swear by starlight shifts, late-night rides where the sky feels like a companion. I'm feeling that now, with the stars breaking through. And the debate point. Some drivers say you should always have a clear endpoint, keep the ride structured. Others think you follow the passenger's lead, even if it's just driving into the night. I'm in the second camp, and Sarah's making it feel right. The suburbs fade into a rural stretch, where the road's flanked by dark fields and the occasional barn, its silhouette sharp against the sky. The rain's gone, leaving the asphalt glossy, and my headlights carve a path through the dark. I'm thinking about Sarah's courage, about the way she faced her sister's grave, about the necklace now resting against her heart. It's stirring something in me. Memories of my dad, of the watch I've left unworn, of the drives where I've tried to outrun my own guilt. You feel different? I ask, gentle, like I'm testing the air. After seeing her, Sarah takes a breath, the sound soft but clear. A little, she says, her voice raw but steady. Like, I can breathe again. Not all the way, but enough. There's a quiet power in her words, and I nod, my hands steady on the wheel. That's a start, I say. More than most get. I'm thinking of my own small steps, the way I talk to my dad at stoplights, the way it eases the ache just enough to keep going. We pass a lone gas station, its pumps dark, and the stars are brighter now, a scatter of light above the fields. She'd like this, Sarah says, unprompted, her voice soft. Driving with no plan. She was all about that. There's a smile in her tone, and I catch it in the rear view, a flicker of her sister's spirit. Sounds like she'd be riding shotgun, picking the worst songs. I say, keeping it light. Sarah huffs, and it's closer to a laugh this time. Oh yeah, she says. All pop, all volume. I chuckle, the sound warm, and it feels like we're keeping her sister alive, just for a moment. The road stretches out, a dark ribbon under the stars, and I feel the night settling, soft and expansive. Sarah's not ready to go home, and I'm not ready to let this ride end. We're just driving, her story and mine woven together in the quiet, the road carrying us forward, wherever it leads. The stars are sharp now, a glittering map above the rural road we're rolling down, the rain a distant memory. The suburbs are long behind us, replaced by open fields and the occasional silhouette of a farmhouse, its windows dark. Sarah's in the back seat, her hoodie soft in the rear view, the necklace a faint glint against her chest. Her request to just drive, to let the road hold her a little longer, has stretched this ride into something timeless, like we're chasing the night itself. The clock says 3:20 a.m., and the app's silent, but the engine's hum and the tire's soft hiss are a steady pulse, grounding us in this shared moment. The air's crisp, sneaking through the cracked window, carrying the scent of damp grass and distant wood smoke. My rubber dinosaur sways on the dash, catching the starlight, and I notice the little things, the faint rattle of a loose coin in the console, the glow of the dashboard, the way Sarah's breathing's even now, like she's found a rhythm with the road. Her story, the accident, the grave, the necklace, the quiet courage, has filled the car, and I'm carrying it, too, alongside my own ghosts. I'm thinking of my dad, of the watch I've yet to wear, of the way this ride's showing me what it means to face the past. You ever think about why we do this? Sarah asks, her voice soft but clear, cutting through the night. Drive around, carry all this stuff? It's a big question, and I take a breath, the will cool under my hands. All the time, I say honest. For me, it's the stories. People like you, sharing a piece of themselves. Makes the miles mean something. I pause, then add, what about you? Why'd you pick tonight to ride? It's a gentle nudge, and I hope it lands right. She shifts, the rustle of her hoodie a quiet signal she's with me. I was tired, she says, her voice raw but steady. Tired of hiding from it. From her. Felt like, if I didn't go now, I never would. There's a strength in her words, a clarity, and I nod, my throat tight. That's the thing about the road, I say. It doesn't let you hide. Puts it all right in front of you. I'm thinking of my own late-night drives, The ones where I've faced my dad's absence head on, and I feel a kinship with her, like we're both learning the same lesson. Here's a mainstream fact. Over 80% of rideshare drivers say the jobs taught them something about life, from patience to empathy to the power of a single conversation. Tonight's my proof. The quirky tidbit: some drivers swear by road mantras, phrases they repeat to stay grounded on long shifts. Mine's just keep rolling, whispered to my dinosaur when the nights get heavy. And the debate point: some drivers say you should wrap up a ride with distance, let the passenger go without lingering. Others think you leave them with something, a word, a feeling, a connection. I'm in the second camp, and Sarah's why. The road curves, and a lone deer darts across, its eyes flashing in the headlights before it vanishes into the dark. She'd love this, Sarah says, unprompted, her voice soft with a smile. The stars, the open road. She was all about nights like this. I catch her reflection, her eyes on the sky, and I smile, too. Sounds like she's riding with us, I say, keeping it light but real. Picking the playlist, probably. Sarah laughs, a real laugh, small but bright, and it's like a star breaking through the clouds. Yeah, she says. Something loud and terrible. We pass a windmill, its blades still in the quiet night, and I feel the ride settling, like we're coming to the end of a long song. You did something big tonight, I say, my voice warm. Not just going there, but talking about it. That's huge. Sarah doesn't respond right away, but I hear her take a breath, and I catch her touching the necklace, her fingers tracing its shape. Thanks, she says finally, her voice thick. For being here. For not making it weird. I chuckle soft. My specialty, I say, and it feels like we're sealing something, a bond forged in the miles. The road stretches out, the stars a quiet guide, and I know it's time to head back, to let her rest. This ride's been a journey, for her, for me, for the sister who's still here in the necklace, the laugh, the love. We're not done driving, but we're done running, and that's enough for tonight. The road's quieter now, the stars fading as dawn hints at the horizon, a soft gray creeping into the sky. Sarah's story, her sister, the accident, the grave, the necklace, lingers in the car, a passenger we've both carried through this long night. As we head back toward the suburbs, the engine's hum feels like a lullaby, and I'm grateful for this ride, for the way it's reminded me why I drive, for the stories, the connections, the moments that make the miles matter. Sarah's asleep in the back seat, her breathing soft, the necklace still against her chest, and I keep the radio off, letting the road sing its own song. Next time, we're hitting the highways with a trucker's tale from a blizzard in the Rockies, a story of grit, luck, and a diner that saved the night. If you've got a road story, a passenger, a breakdown, a moment that changed you, drop it in the comments. We're building this for you, the drivers, the wanderers, the ones who know the road's a storyteller. So wherever the road takes you tonight, stay sharp, stay safe, and we'll meet you again next ride. Keep the wheels turning and the stories flowing, partner.